Hello, my friends. I am here again talking about life model. Why this? Because I am an experienced life model. My name is Laura. Nice to meet you. I am living now in northeast of England and in Newcastle, but I have lived for 10 long years in the south, 8 years in London and 3 in Bristol, working for Academy of Arts, University of Art, groups of artists. And so now I have decided to do a series of videos explaining the rules to be a good life model. Many people decide to become a life model. It's a beautiful job, but you must respect the rules if you want to be successful. So, first things, if you decide to be a life model, you must remember that most of the time you work naked. This is a fundamental. Okay, you can do just a portrait, sitting, dress, and people draw your face, but that is not all the work. Most of the work is based instead on you doing some pose, like I am doing now. You do some pose. Now, obviously, I am dressed, otherwise my video would be deleted from YouTube, but you do some pose, dynamic pose. Dynamic means that you do, you take a dynamic form like this, and people draw you. So you arrive in this room, you take off all your dress and you start to pose naked. So you need to be a naturist. You must not be embarrassed when you do this work. Imagine posing like that, like, oh my God, I am very ashamed. No, you can't do. You can also say, no, sorry, I wear my lingerie during the session because I am too ashamed. This is not good. Maybe the artist have pity of you and say, okay, wear your lingerie, but then they don't call you anymore. So it's very important, this aspect, being a naturist. Then, second things, you work most of the time in winter during the university, when the school are open most of the time. So means that you are totally naked in a room. And this is very important. You must have a warm room to pose, because it could be very painful working naked in a cold room, and you could also damage your muscle. In fact, another advice that I always give is, before starting a drawing session, before starting modeling, you need to do a bit of stretch. It means like this, no? The legs are already warm because you walk to go to the drawing classes. But no, the arms, now I destroy the lamp, sorry guys. So you need to move the arms and the neck, do a bit of exercise, because so your muscles are stretched and you are warm, and you don't risk to damage your muscle. Then another thing very important, you need to know the strength of your muscle. So if you are new, you need to do some exercise and try what you can do with your pose, because many people do mistake and then they stop to be life model because they suffer during a drawing session. For instance, if the pose is long, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you can dare a bit more. You can stay like that. I can stay like this for 2-3 minutes. You can do like this. I can stay like this for 1 minute, and I am very trained. And but depends also how I am feeling, because if I'm tired, I can't stay like this 1 minute. So you need to know yourself, you need to know your strength, you need to know your muscle. This is very, very important. And if you do short poses, I mean up to 5 minutes, you can keep the neck like that. You can do, but or like this. But if you keep the pose more than 5 minutes, I can assure you the neck can sustain your head for a long time, and you will have a very strong pain here, and you must interrupt the pose. This will annoy too much the artist. So always see with your muscle what you can do. There are people that can stretch their muscle very well for a long time because they are a sort of athletes, but many people can do. So, for instance, if I stay in a pose for 15 minutes, standing pose, I try to do something very easy, maybe like this. Already this arm that now is here, after 5 minutes can start to move and go more next to my legs, because we have the gravity in our planet. So everything that is in the air gradually wants to go down. So for instance, if you stay for 15 minutes standing pose, this arm is good because it's on your hip. But this can be for a long time like that. 5 minutes is fine. 10 minutes start to be tiring. 15 minutes is painful. So, because we have the gravity, put down your arms, touch your body with the other arms. It will be much easier keeping the pose for 15-20 minutes. When the pose is long, more than 30 minutes, try always to do a sitting pose or a lying pose. But if you sit, be careful again with your neck, because if you do, I did this, one of my first pose, like this, after it was an hour pose, after 10 minutes my neck here was so painful, and I was surrounded by 30 people in Covent Garden in London. They were drawing like crazy me. And I couldn't say, sorry guys, I need to change the pose because I have a pain in my neck. It was one of my first drawing session, so I suffered silently, but I was crying inside me because I had a very pain in my neck. This is one painful, one of the most painful poses if you keep for more than 10 minutes. And the same with the neck like that. And another thing, the arms like that are beautiful in the drawing, but also the arms like that will be painful after 10 minutes because of the circulation of the blood. So up to 10 minutes is fine, there are more, but after, be careful in everything you do. And when you are sitting or lying, try always to have something behind your back that sustain your back, and be careful with another pose. Many life models like to do this, pushing their head on their hand, the hand on the arm on the elbow. But if you stay for a long time, the elbow will become very painful. And I still remember I did a session in college in Richmond, and I stayed for 4 hours like that. I had a pillow, a cushion behind, but was not enough. And I was very tired. And believe me, when I finished, I couldn't feel these 2 fingers because I had pushed too much on the nerves. So this can be very dangerous, really, guys. So be careful. Also, where you pose, if it's safe, if the chair is on top of something, be careful to go sitting on top, because sometimes the tutor decide to do the throne, no? And you go, the life model, go on top of the throne sitting on a chair. But you need to be very careful because many people get hurted because the chair collapsed and the life model fell down. So you need to be very careful when you do this work, because you are very vulnerable, your neck, you are tired and your muscle are working very hard. It's not easy. Many people think that life model is just taking off the dress, sitting online and sleeping. It's not like that. Another thing, when you are a life model, you need during the break go around and talk with the artist because they are there to draw you. So it's very important have a sort of communication with the artist. Sometimes it's their first time they are drawing a person, so they are very excited and worried. And you, if you love your work, you need to encourage them. Say, oh, it's fantastic, it's beautiful. Instead, when I was in London, I still remember I was posing with another female model, and she said, during break, I was in Candid Art, she said, oh, I'm not going to talk with the artists, they are so boring, they are all the same. Fuck off! Cioè, you can't behave like that. If you are a life model, you are part of the community, so you need to interact with the artist. Another thing is the pay. I have done lots of videos. If there are some people in London that don't like me, life model, 2 female models from Italy in particularly, and 2 men. One very thin man that think to be the new imperator of the life model, and another man without hair that seems the lord of the life model. This sort of people have ruined the pay of the life modeling in London, because when I started 10 years ago, a life model was paid £20 per hour. When these zombie arrive, they start to work for less money. And then when I left London 3 years ago, the life model were paid 15 £15 per hour. That is nothing. I am not talking about school. The school is different because the school pay also tax for you. So this is going in your pension. But when you work in London in pubs, not people that rent a room in a pub, this organizer, no, in particularly east of London and southeast of London, they underpay this poor life model. There were some organizing, drawing a class in an extreme southeast of London, and they didn't pay one single life model because they were looking for new life models. So they were saying clever, if you come here to model for the first time, I don't pay you because you are doing a trial. And this is not good, because that person, by the way, is paying the travel, is losing his time, so a minimum should be paid. By the way, for these people, the life model in southeast and east of London, and in some area also of northeast of London, always these mafia people that are on Facebook group of life model, wrote they pay a 15, sometimes £13 per hour. That in London is nothing, because if you are a self-employed, you have to pay tax, you have to pay the transport that's quite expensive in London, and you lose lots of time in London because it's an hour to go, an hour to come. So less than the minimum wage. Now, I have heard, and I have worked in London recently, is £25 per hour. Now start to be bit better. This was already happening in West London. In fact, I was working all in the West London, Northwest, Southwest, because honestly, the tutor organizer were treating me very fairly. If it was a bit of £25 per hour, by the way, they were booking me for the whole day. So my day was paid very well. Outside London, you can ask a bit less if you don't travel a lot, like in Bristol, or even if in Bristol I was paid quite well, £16 per hour, sometimes £14 per hour, but I was modeling around my house because I was living in central Bristol. So outside London it's okay to be paid from 15 to 20 pound per hour, but in London must be 25 or also 30 pound per hour. The artists are always ready to pay their life model. Then a group of artists, so for them it will be like 10, 12 pound for the experience, so it's not a great deal. So you need to pretend to be paid fairly. You are a worker, okay, you are the star of the night, so because you are the star of the night, you need to be considered and to be treated like a king or a queen. So guys, I am leaving now, otherwise I talk too much. I show you some of my poses. For instance, this is a pose that I keep for 5 minutes. Otherwise I do this, that is a dynamic pose. I can keep for 5 minutes. I meditate. People ask me how you can stay still when you pose. I meditate. I am there with my body, but I am far away with my mind. And this is very important, because when you are still for a long time and you think that you are still, you can feel your nose that, oh, I need to scratch my nose, I need to scratch my head, I have a pain in my back. Instead, if you meditate, you go away with your imagination, you are not more there. Another pose that I like to do is this. You can see my legs, and this is the leg. So practically, if you stay for 10 minutes, you can put your leg like that. But if you stay for more than 10 minutes, you need to stay like that. So you can see there are some rules. I am happy to share with you, so I will come back again, don't worry. If you like my video, please subscribe on my channel. Another thing, I am taking bookings around Newcastle, Durham, Gateshead, Sunderland to work in real studios, but also booking to work through Zoom or Skype, group of artists or single, one-to-one. So you can write under my video and I will come back to you. Thank you very much, guys, for your attention, and see you soon in the next episode. Ciao, un bacio!